What's up, everybody? Lawler here.
Shut up.
And apparently Gravity Guy, who is saying hi with a follow. We have been seeing a bunch of tier lists lately. I asked you guys, specifically on YouTube, if you wanted me to do one as well in regards to the Rocket League Esports Decals. Cyanix recently dropped an update, and you guys haven't seen that video, go back and watch. But 32 new decals for home kits. There's going to be home and away kits. Dominus, Fennec, and Octane. I think they're like 300 credits, maybe 1,000 for all three vehicles. But we're gonna be taking away at the new 32 like kits for the home team. Their colors, their like home field advantage if they had it. Some of these are awesome. Some of these are, I mean, they're pretty bad. Let's be honest. Some of them are pretty bad. But I'm gonna give my own subjective opinion about it. At the end of the day, this is my opinion. If you guys want to do your own tier list, that'll be in the description down below. But with that said, let's take a peek at some of these. We're gonna have this displayed in two different ways. On the left side is the actual decals, the list, all the way from S tier down to F tier with amazing, great, good, decent, mid. I'm going to get rid of that because it's what the kids say. And bold and brash. We're going to use those. We're going to bring those into different tiers where we like. And then on the left-hand side, we'll figure out which way we want them. On the right-hand side, you will actually get a full preview of what they look like, which is pretty slick. We're hanging out with chat here at twitch.tv/Lawler. I stream or try to stream every day, but Tuesday and Sunday. We've been casting a lot of stuff lately, so we haven't really done that. We've only streamed like twice this week, but you know, we're busy. We're being a casty boy, so we're hanging out with chat. Come hang out with us. We try to stream every day, but 2 days a week, and we're gonna go through these. First one up is the Dignitas decal, which is literally just a piece of cheese. I personally don't like this. I think it's pretty bad. You have taken a car, you have made it yellow and put your logo on the hood. By all means, you leave a little bit of black on the back end and try to do some two-tone color, but like, it's not that good. I would probably put this at F, if I'm being completely honest. Like, take the plain yellow and make it like carbon fiber looking or something, like literally anything different, topology, whatever, and it'll be better. But it's just straight yellow. Next up, we got Endpoint. I think it's good. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It still puts a lot of emphasis on the logo on the front. They've got some different dots and stuff on the side. 3-color layout, black, white, blue. Pretty simple, nothing crazy. At the end of the day, it does everything you need it to. I think it's a good decal. It's not amazing, but it's good. It's a solid decal. Next, Envy, S tier. That is an incredible decal. It basically takes what Endpoint does and makes it better. And it's so simple. You add a color to change up just the solid black front, right? Rather than just solid black. Imagine if Endpoint took this blue and did the same thing. Like, you're adding a color gradient, and even though you don't get that color in the back, you still add little accents on the side. You still give a little bit extra on the sides to make sure that, yes, this is Envy, but it still is different. It's not the same thing. The fade, no, it adds a little bit. It does make it different from all the others, and it still cleans it up instead of just a big black husk. Up next, United. United gets rid of a lot of the white on their decal, and that's because of the home and away. This was designed by a community member. I know that as well, and I think they did a pretty good job. They're taking the color scheme and they're translating it across the entire vehicle. What I would like to see, I think this is a good decal. I think it's a B tier. If you were to move it into great, I think I would balance out the colors. I understand they want to make this in sync with this, but it makes it too much the same. If they inverted the colors and they put the blue on this side with the red E and then put the red on the other side to balance it out, I think it would look better. I also think it looks a little bit blank on the sides. Next, Evil Geniuses. This is a clean decal. You get multiple colors with white, yellow, blue. You get different tones of it. The logo still gives it a good, clean finish. I think that it is a little generic, but I do think it at least stands out compared to some of the other ones. I put that as an A tier. FaZe Clan. Maybe even an F. F for FaZe Clan. That is a bad decal. I think that is a bad decal. They put the logo on it and then put some flame splotches on it in different colors. There is no clear decision on how, like, someone face painted the car or finger painted it. I literally have like clip art of these and just drag them on. Team announcement decal was better. Also agree. So this to me just feels like some clip art. Kind of like Clippy made this. He's like, yo, I heard you want a FaZe decal. And then he's just like, here you go. This is what you get. All right, next, Inferior. That's a good decal. Big fan of minimalism. They do everything I talk about the right way. Number one, color aesthetic, monochromatic. That'll go with everybody, right? People will use this decal a ton. Second thing, they don't overdo it. Symmetrical. Got some lines, some accents. All good. Another thing, they use the different tone to make the logo stand out, and then they add a texture underneath. I was talking about that. You could do, rather than what Dignitas did, where it was just yellow and then a couple dots, they made it the entire aesthetic of the car. It's across the whole thing. The pattern that they put on that is great. They did a really good job. The only decision here is, do you put it into S tier? I think it's S tier. That's a good decal. A lot of people will rock that. G2. Overall, not a bad decal, but I think it's actually a pretty big step back. Also, don't know why they got rid of the red. It's pretty basic as a decal. It's still better than some of the other ones, but a couple problems I have with it. Number one, again, no pattern underneath. They, I think, get away with the pattern because they do have, at least, they've been going with this like paintbrush kind of style of things, right? Which I don't mind. But you have a chance to use 3 colors. You've got white and yellow. I mean, black as the base, but like you could put red in here or something. But I do, and I will say, the reason why I give it a C is because I am comparing it to their old decal, and I do think this one is worse. I will also say they do a couple of things aesthetically a little bit better. I think this could have been done a little bit better. I think this accent's not bad. I think this is okay. I think the octane does look pretty good. I think the accent colors that they use on the side, like the octane does look pretty clean. Next, Ghost Gaming. Ghost Gaming again goes for the same monochromatic, which is why it was purchased a lot. They got rid of a lot of the cringy like sayings and stuff on the side. They had this like glitch kind of stuff that they're doing, and it does carry through. I wish it would carry a little bit further up and get like at least one streak towards the middle. Obviously, they don't want to like take away from the logo. I think it's worse than inferior, but it's still a good decal. I would probably put this at like an A or a B. I'm going to put it at B for now, and then we'll discuss more. I think the Fennec looks probably the best based upon what I can see on the sides. I think that Fennec looks pretty solid. Logo could probably be stretched a little bit just to fill some of that black matte space. But I do like the back. The back does look good and how it like transitions up. But I would like to see a little bit more of these like glitch lines go up a little bit more. Maybe some color to accent it. Maybe like just something a little bit more. So I'm going to probably keep it at B. I think it's a good decal. Up next, Giants Gaming. This is a good decal. The spacing on everything turns out pretty solid. You've got good texture on the back with the color sides. I think it might be a little bit too much red. A little bit too much red where it docks it. But I do like the concept. I do like the concept of it. The lightness of this might not show off. Like, I think the Fennec, like if these lines were a little bit darker like they show in here, but with a white octane or a white, it's going to look solid. Like, I think the octane one looks the best, and it could just be the angling where it makes it a little bit darker with the shadows. But these lines down the middle do so much for this. Like, if they had these same lines, like these white lines, what they did for the Fennec, it looks so much better. I just think they need it to be a bit darker. I like the fact that they're putting the banner right through the side, which does break up a lot of that color, but it also feels kind of out of place at the same time. But these lines, these pinstripes, if you want to call them that go straight down, make so much for the octane, which is weird. I will say the cool thing about Giants is that each decal for the Giants feels unique. So I think it's a good, but it's not quite great. I think that's a good decal. Up next, Ground Zero Gaming. A little bland, but the accenting is pretty solid. So I do like how they have accents in the corners, which does give a little bit of that illusion, but it feels very bland. I think this is probably either a B. I think this is a B. Like, that Fennec to me doesn't feel like a whole lot's going on. It feels like they played this very safe, is I guess the best way I can say it. I actually really like that Dominus decal because you add some accent, you make that stripe go all the way through, which carries through the entire body. But like, you get all this blank space and stuff, and I get you mix it up a little bit, but I think it's good. I think it's okay. It's all right. Next, Guild. That's a good decal. That's a really good decal. They use 2 colors outside of the base. They add pattern texture, and they keep it within. It's not a full body. They keep it within the color to add some contrast to it. That's an S tier decal. To me, that's an incredible decal. I think they'd nail it with that. Next up, K-Corp. This is how you do a Fennec decal and a Dominus decal. That's also really clean. I think it's A. I think that's A. I do think it's a little simple. The dots are kind of iffy for me. Looking at it again, I do think it's a little simple, and the dots, which are their texture, I think they could do a little bit different. Like, say they made all of this, like make this all black, right? So do the lines and make it all black and separate it like you did here, right? So do this kind of concept on the roof and through the nose like they do, but then add a pattern in that rather than dots, and I think you got an S decal. Team Liquid, missing some yellow. I do wish they had more yellow accents on this. I think if you take Team Liquid and you put it as a saffron octane, that's a good looking car. There's a little bit of a gradient, like a two-tone here with the black. Again, it doesn't seem like a big deal, chat, but look at this. So you see the mane of the horse on the back? They do that same thing here. I love that. I think their away kit's going to look incredible. I agree with you on that one, Sam. I think their away kit with white and then using the yellow is going to look so good. This decal is a huge upgrade from their old one. It's a pretty solid decal. Logo's clean and stands out. You've got the logo still incorporated in some of the accents rather than just the generic add stuff to the side. Some of their colors schemes carry through, like on the Dominus, which that looks good. The Dominus is the best looking one in my opinion. NRG, minimalistic, clean. Monochromatic decals are always going to do really well for pros and stuff. It feels pretty safe, but like you compare it to Ground Zero, it's not generic, right? Like Ground Zero is just like, yeah, let's put some color here. Let's put some color here, a little bit over here, a little bit over here. Okay, we're done. Let's do some here. Let's do some here. Let's do some here. Done. Energy actually stretches the color, which I do like. Anytime you do that and find a way to incorporate it, it's good. I do like the fact that they mix up the shapes on each one. Roof design as well, rather than just a couple colors on the sides, they actually put some stuff that stretches over, which I do like. These cars are going to look really good with a titanium white octane, but I think it gets docked a little bit. I think that's a good decal. I think it's great as a decal. I think that's A tier. Next up, PK. Couple things to be excited about. Number one, they got rid of their old logo. Their second logo, which was a rebrand from their first logo. Their first logo was better, and then their second logo got worse. And then this one is just, I don't know. The logo itself for PK, I'm kind of on. The logo's probably the worst part of this. Everything else I'm pretty happy about. I actually like this. The only thing that docks it for me is the logo itself. That is the only thing that I really dislike about it. Again, they do a really good job with pinstripes carrying through the Dominus. Even though they don't have any of that on the Octane, they have enough accent on the sides to where they don't need it. The places that they do need it on the big open areas like the Fennec, they add it. I like it. The only thing I don't like is that logo. That logo's pretty bad. Next up, PWR crushes it. If there's one thing Lachlan and the boys know how to do, is make an entrance. They have, number one, easily the best intro to Rocket League in a video I have ever seen. They crush it. They then partner with that with everything you want. All the colors are accented well. Anytime you think it's a little bit too bland, yes, the hood's open, but around it's yellow. Yes, they extend it out to make sure it looks good. Yes, they add a pattern underneath so it's not bland and give it a couple different tones. It's a good decal. It's clean. Aesthetically, the pattern's good. There's enough color to add contrast to it. Looks great. Team Queso. Different. Love it. That's a good decal. Where are you at, TK? So welcome to S tier. That is an S tier decal. Hello. That is a W. Couple things they do really, really well. Number one, different tones, different shades of the same color. Rather than just leaving that all black, rather than making it so it's a pattern, they decide to do it with a color scheme. I love it. And they use the electric yellow part to break it up. Love that. So they've got a 3-color scheme. Blue, lighter blue, and then super light blue. And they use that to spread. Oh, no, they only use 2. So they have the 2 different colors of blue, which they use in their logo, darker and lighter, right? And then they use to, instead of doing the same old, they switch it. Oh, that's so good. Pooh, boy. Yikes. I will say the Octane's not too bad. I am curious on what it would look like if they reversed these colors and made black the primary with this color, their primary color, as the accent. Next up, Ricks.gg. Also, this was made by the same person, that one Super, who made the V1 decal. So, a couple things to be really happy about with this. The way that they accent the car, right? Again, talking about carrying those lines through, so it gives a clean aesthetic the other way, right? And then the Octane feels so much, like, it's so unique compared to the Fennec. I prefer the Fennec over the Octane when it comes to the colors. These pinstripes, although very subtle, make a difference of cleaning it up. It still puts a lot of focus on what the logo is, but that Octane is so different from everything else, right? Like the logo, you get the full name on the sides. It's surrounded by stuff, while these have the lightning accents that you see throughout all their logo, like this, right? And they put that on the sides as compared to this, it surrounds it. The logo itself has some accenting around it as well. Stuff on the top is not blank. You either surround it with color on the sides or you put some on the top, and they do exactly that. Hell, this they even carry it over on, even on the little spoily boy. That's not a bad decal. I don't know if I should give this a B or an A? I think it's more of a high B than it is an A. Rogue, let's see what you got. I'm gonna put Rogue at A. The reason why is, again, it's the same issues I have with some of the others. If you cut off the nose, everything is great. But as soon as you get up front here, it loses so much of what is so good in the back. You have great color coordination. You have a pattern within the decal itself. But as soon as you get to the hood and you have the logo, there's no accent around it. All you need to do is add a couple of these lines or something on the side. Just a couple, nothing crazy. And yes, they bring this all the way up through and then it fades out. But like, this to me is just too, everything else is great. Like, it's a really good decal. I even love how they split it in half on these. But for the most part, it feels so close to hitting the mark, but it falls just a little bit short because this just feels too bland. Semper, huh? This is the old top blokes boys. Same issue, honestly. It's the same issue. It's simple. It's clean. I like the stuff on the back, but I need some sort of a little bit of extra pop to bring that focus in on the logo. I'd probably put this at B because it looks good. It does look good. I like the gold aesthetic. I love the color scheme and like the different stuff on the sides. But I think this part on the back with the gold and the cutout and the different colors is better than what Rick's did on theirs on the side. Honestly, maybe I should bump up Rick's. I'm gonna bump up Rick's to A. I think Rick's overall does better than where I'm giving Semper. I'm gonna bump them up. But yeah, it's just a little too bland. Next up, get to Rebellion. You talk about a minimalistic decal. If you're gonna keep it clean, minimalistic, this is a good way to do it. You got accent colors all the way throughout. It does make it look a little boxy, but it's just subtle little things. A couple accents here and there, even on the spoiler. You've got some on the roof on each side. You've got clean aesthetic on each. These are all the same. I'm not crazy about it, and that's why it's not S tier, but I do think overall, I do think Rick's does a pretty good job. Or not Rick's, my bad, Rebellion. Shopify Rebellion. So I was just talking about Rick's. But I do think Shopify Rebellion does a pretty good job here. Singularity. The Fennec's a little overkill. The Octane does it better, but it just feels really generic. It's definitely not F. I think I'll put it C. Like, I understand what they're going for, but like, this is too much if you're gonna do it here. Like, if you clean this up, get rid of this color here. Like, they're doing too much of the same thing. Like, obviously with the logo, they have the color, then they surround it, but then they try to do the same thing, and aesthetically it makes sense, but then because you don't have enough space, you do just the green instead of the green and the white. So like, even that doesn't make sense. So like, you should do that whole aesthetic of this car. You do the green on the outside, you get rid of this green and do white on the inside with the logo. Yeah, Singularity, it's not terrible. I don't think it's F like everybody thinks, but it's definitely not, it's not up there. SK Gaming, maybe a high C. Like, if I put a tier between B and C, this is where this would go. It's either a low B or a high C. We're going with high C just because I love that drink as a kid. So the issue I have with it is it just feels like someone put a bunch of squigglies on it, you know? Like I feel like we're back in the 90s. And this is like, if it had different colors, I'd wear this as a tracksuit, you know? Color scheme's fine. Monochromatic's always clutch. SK Gaming's logo looks great on the front. I do like that they accent this a little bit better. You know what? We'll put it at B because of that. Because they at least add some accent to the nose and mix it up a little bit, and it does carry through a little bit better. But it does feel like the pattern that they implemented it doesn't feel good. I don't know. I'm between a B. I'm gonna keep it at a C. This part just feels odd. I don't know. I kind of want to put Singularities in good. I'm gonna put Singularities in. It's at the tail end. Singularity could do some things that make this a really good decal. But I don't want to put these in the same, because to me these are like, this is a better than this. Solary, good decal. Minimalistic, clean. The blue, yellow, black, white. That's a good decal, but I don't think it's anything amazing. Stripes that go through. Add the accent, which is good. A little bit plain at sometimes, but again, it's minimalistic. It's minimalistic. It gets the benefit just like energy. Next up, Sonics. Very minimalistic, very safe. So a couple things I like, especially the Fennec is probably my favorite. Maybe the Octane. Give me an angle like this for the Octane, and I think I like it a little bit more. So good accents, a little bit more in the caboose, and that line carries through, brings it to the nose. It's a good way to bring it about. Give that accent over. Color on the top to add in where the Octane doesn't. I do like that. Nothing crazy. I'd probably put it at a B. Chat, what do you guys think? A or B? I'm leaning kind of towards A for the same reason. Simplicity's clean. It's not as... I think I would go with A on this. I think A is a pretty solid fit. I like that. I don't think it's S. Next up, Space Station. So good. Such a good decal. That is a fantastic decal. Couple reasons why. Although they don't use the pattern, the subtle lining and color through the entire thing does everything you want it in a decal. The logo's still center placed. It's still accented well. Like that Octane decal's killer. The lines don't detract from what you're trying to do. It's still clean. You still get the logo and stuff. They still add the little accents with like their stars and stuff for their logo. Their logo actually has stars that surrounds it. And the lines, they fit the curvature of the body. This fennec line that goes through follows the entire body. They still add accents to it. And the lines, again, aesthetically look good. And they're symmetrical. Looking at you again, Squiggly Boy, SK Gaming. Love it. Looks great. Gold is a perfect color on it. Black is the primary. And when they invert this and add white, some of these away decals are going to be so good. I'm telling you guys. Away decals on some of these, they open themselves up for a lot of good. So, love it. Looks great. Next up, Torrent. The only issue I have with Torrent is their logo itself, but it's still better than Pittsburgh Knights. That's a pretty good decal, actually. That's really good. Keeps it minimalistic. They still add the accents. They still, even with this little bad boy, that's a good decal, actually. That's a really good decal. Honestly, it's hard for me to point out anything I don't like. They bring this up a little bit, even though that's not there. I feel like they could maybe do a little bit on top, but overall, good job, Torrent. Way to make an adjustment. Next, True Neutral. I really like the back. I do like how they do the two-tone with the gray. And they try to accent it, but they play it safe. Give me a little bit. Like, you do get the gray through. Oh, you get the gray through here. I actually do like that. Ooh. The light gray. Oh, that gray does look good. On its own, like, as a standalone decal, I do like it. I think I'd give it an A. I think that's a good decal. All right, next up. V1, goated. That is such a good decal. Super crushed this one. Full car. Very, very bold colors with the purple. The logo and stuff is accented well. They still do their whole like glitch matrix thing that they're going on. To me, honestly, this might be the best one. I think this in the face, everything is done extremely well. They don't go over the, like, although it feels over the top, because they throw those subtle light patches and stuff in it, it looks like that Octane looks killer. Like this looks really good. I know everybody's going to call me biased for V1, this and that, but a couple things. You have a fully black car and you still find ways to accent it with one other color. So black fits the whole thing. When this color is their away decals, it's going to look even better. I can tell you right now. Away decals is going to make this look incredible. You have, again, a fully black car, and the only other color you're using is purple. So how do you do that? And they find ways to add different strokes within that paint, that like kind of glitch thing going on, to provide different aesthetics. So you still get different visuals with it to darken it in certain places. It looks great. It's also the only purple car. Vitality. Looks a little bit too much. Honestly, get rid of all the white dash parts and you got a better looking car. You put Gibbs's hard hat on that. You put Gibbs's face on the front. This was made for Gibbs. Honestly, I think Vitality just sold out. I don't know how much you paid them, Gibbs, but you gave them way too much. I don't think it looks bad, but I think it's too much. Yeah, it looks like we're going to go play Cash Cab. I'd give it an A or a B, probably a B. Next, exit to the top. Less is more. Again, it's a black car, but what do? You add a pattern to change up the scheme. Use red for that accent. That's a good looking car. They don't go generic with the accent pieces as well. They had a little bit of the drip on the sides. A little bit here to make sure it's not just plain. That is clean. I would either go really, really high A or low S. Probably towards the bottom of the S. I think it looks good, though. I do like it. Last one, Team BDS. Interesting. Gosh, where do I start? I do kind of like it, but it feels a little bit much in here. Now, the nice thing is they do change the color of where it says BDS, so it at least stands out because it was possibly going to get lost in all this. But I think the reason why I like it is you see the colors on the side here. If they carried more of that black up front, like take this part here, right? Take this part here. Take this and put it across the middle here, and you've got a great looking car. Also, with the logo being all white, kind of interesting. I think that's the change I would make, is I would take and make some black across, right? Take some black across. So all of this is black, and then you can put these colors back in, and then you've got a good looking decal. But they did try something new, and I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's amazing. I'd probably put it in good. I think it's a little bit too much. Alrighty, chat. That is my tier list. We're going to go recap. S. We got Envy, Furia, Guild, Power, Team Queso, Space Station Gaming, Torrent, welcome, Version 1, and Xset. In A, we got Evil Geniuses, K Corp, Team Liquid, NRG, PK, Rix, Rogue, Shopify Rebellion, Solary, Sonics, and True Neutral. In B, we've got Endpoint, United, Ghost, Giants, Ground Zero, Semper, Vitality, Team BDS. In C, you've got FaZe, G2, Singularity, SK, Squealy Boy. And in F, you got Dignitas and Renegades. Yeah, primarily the way that I kind of base this upon subjective opinion, if I'm being honest. Ultimately, when it came down to it, there's a couple things that I think go in mind. The thought process for me, a lot of it has to do with the decal itself as a standalone as compared to the decal and then adding on top of it something along the lines of like a titanium white octane or something like that to add that accent that's missing. But so the decals that stand alone look really good. The only one I probably want to adjust maybe is Xset, maybe put them in A as compared to S, but I do think it looks clean. I think Guild showed what you can do with that color towards the nose, which is really good. Team Queso tried something unique and it worked out. The V1 just hugs that body, but then still adds a ton of black to make it look. There's some really good decals in here. Ultimately, all of them are good, except for maybe 2, where I would want to adjust. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. What are you guys' favorite decals? Give me your order if you want to try to do that. And maybe we'll judge your guys' own tier list. If you guys want to do your own tier list, in the description, we'll find a link to this. Feel free to fill it out. Feel free to have fun with it. But that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoy the content, as always, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and come join us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Lawler. We stream every day but Tuesday and Sunday unless I'm casting. But that's going to do it here. Chat. Final words, any fun things you guys want to say to the people? Don't forget, free cookies if you sub. I don't know how I'm going to get them to you, but free cookies.